Sorry, I have a new keyboard running, so
Excuse me.
I also could probably tune down my gain a little bit because I'm on a different mic. How's that? Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, you sound
Yes, you sound great.
VGRT Gaming. Jesus Christ. VGRT Gaming Podcast 7. VGRT Gaming Podcast.
Hold up,
episode
Jenna. Let
7.
me pull up. I don't actually have the notes pulled up. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Give me just 1 second here. It's been a scatterbrain day. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. I am ready.
VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 774, recorded on February 3rd. Right. VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 774, recorded on February. VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 774, recorded on February 16th, 2026.
Hello, and welcome to the 774th edition of the TD Gaming Podcast, and 607th episode of Video Game Roundtable. I'm TJ Denzer.
I am Scott Dirk.
And I am Jonah Falcon.
The VGRT Gaming Podcast focuses on game news from around the industry and a gaming flashback.
All right, so what have you been playing there, TJ? I know you're now legally able to talk about it. Actually, you did talk about it last time. You just hadn't. It had just hadn't been released yet.
Yeah, Nioh. I think Nioh 3 was the most recent one I was reviewing. I like that game. It's a very like Koei Tecmo has a good handle on Souls-like combat, and it's one of the funnest forms of it. The only thing that really bugs me about their game is that like it's they have always done this loot thing where like they just every enemy explodes into 5 different items and you have to sift through what you need like a Diablo game. And I'm not crazy about that. I don't like doing that very much. I just want to play the action. But it's still good. It's a pretty dang good game. More recently, I've been fiddling around with Animal Crossing a lot. Animal Crossing.
Before you talk about it, you know that there was a really huge patch.
For which one?
Nioh 3.
Oh, yeah. To fix up a few things from the get-go and make it better. I haven't seen the
bugs that were preventing progress.
I hadn't seen too many bugs during my play session on PS5. But I don't know. I think it's an open world game, so that itself lends itself to some possibilities when it comes to people digging deep into what the game can do.
You know what I found out from people, and maybe you can confirm this for me, but they said that the tutorial boss is the hardest boss of the game.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that there are a few others I've played against that are probably a little harder than that guy. Once you figure out how to the conceit of the first bosses is that you gotta figure. That's kind of where you figure out how to do your parrying and evasion and focus on build. Nioh 3 is a very stamina hungry game where like you have to manage a bar that lets you do all your actions, and if you don't have the stamina for it, then when an enemy hits you, then you become exhausted and they can do a killing blow on you, and so. Having enough stamina to do attacks while not running out completely so you get absolutely mogged is part of what makes it so challenging. And I can imagine that first boss is kind of first kind of gate for people.
Yeah, I was about to say, people said that if you'd already played Nioh, then he wasn't that big a deal. People playing Nioh for the first time had trouble getting him past him.
Yeah, but Nioh isn't a game that you can mash through at all. Like you try to mash through an enemy, especially a boss, and you will get pulverized. So I imagine it's a very stark game for people that are just not ready to be beaten to for people that are ready to be patient, which is like 0% of gamers.
He also has a predictable pattern. It's just, it's just like and he only has one sword. He only has one weapon. And it's like,
yeah, what I found when I was playing against him was that like he has some very telegraphed attacks that are easy to parry that you just have to wait for. And if you don't wait for him, then trying to swing through him is dangerous because he lines up.
Apparently, he gives a ton of damage per hit.
And he also goes into his next attack very quickly if you don't stun him.
Yeah, he's sort of like one of the those creatures in Clair Obscur. Sometimes they do those 3 attacks, but then they'll do 3 attacks and pause, and then do a 4th attack.
Mm-hmm. He has that too, where he has some combos that he'll cut off early unless you're attacking him, and then he'll throw in another hit. It's pretty rough, but yeah, like it's a great game. Nioh 3 is a great open world adventure. I would recommend it to anyone. I also thought that Code Vein 2 was pretty good, but I think that people are a little more critical on that one. I enjoyed it.
I mean, here's the thing. People are critical about Code Vein 2. CPP people like Code Vein. It's sort of like they're picking it apart. The game that's really getting bashed is Yakuza Kiwami 3.
Oh yeah.
Partly because they use the sex offender as the lead character.
And their rhetoric for doing it was kind of shoddy. They straight up said, like, we wanted this character to exude sleaze, so it was okay to hire this guy because he really drives that point home. It's like, no, you could have probably found somebody that could play sleazy without actually being sleazy.
Called acting, damn it!
Yeah, right?
Yeah. That was really surprising take that they did.
I couldn't believe it because, like, up until that point, Ryuga Gotoku, the people that make those games, had so much goodwill. They had so much goodwill with so much good games. They did Sonic. They helped with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which didn't sell as well as Sega wanted, but it was still a great game. They're getting the next. They're working on the Virtua Fighter games. Their last Yakuza games were still pretty dang good, and then they go and fuck it up with this stupid casting of a sex offender guy. And then they just...
It's not even... It's also... for some reason, it's buggy as hell.
It is. On PC, it's running pretty poorly, from what I understand. And, man, like... What a miss for Ryuga Gotoku after such a long run of success.
You're
and
playing
people
Animal Crossing. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, to cap that off, is like people who really generally love that series and love that studio were even like offended by this. And that's hard because those people are diehard fans.
It's hard to, and you have to find the original Yakuza 3.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been playing Animal Crossing as well. Me and Sam have been digging into that game a lot, and it's really fun. I like the cozy nature of it. I like using it.
I heard they put a lot of Zelda stuff in.
They did. They made it so that you can get Zelda props and Zelda outfits. And if you have some Zelda amiibos, you can invite Tulin and Minoru to your island.
What does that make? Does that make Tom Nook Bowser?
No, not quite. Tom Nook is Bowser.
Ganon.
Tom Nook is worse than Bowser, anyways, because he's a money baron.
I meant Ganon. Bowser is Mario.
Tom Nook is greedier than Ganon and Bowser combined. Like, good for him. He's a successful businessman, but geez, what a sneak.
Yeah, I know you know the famous Yahtzee review about it, and he says that he doesn't even ask you. It's sort of like you go to him.
Yeah.
And he said, "A life without debt, you fool. Debt is your life."
He is a terrifying dude, and his kids are like, I think they're his nephews, Timmy and Tommy. They're kind of creepy too, because I swear to goodness, you have to ask this character Isabel for evaluations of your island, and she tells you how things are going, and it feels like they leave me threatening messages because they often say things like, "You better do your job and do it right," or because me and my brother are backing you up, capiche? It's like, I'm sick of your toxic positivity.
On the other hand, the new Mario Tennis game has come out and people are just bashing the hell out of it.
I hear the adventure mode sucks in it, which is a shame.
Here's the thing:
that was a fun thing in the other games.
The game is a barely disguised upscale, and they made it easier for the masses. So it's really just, and it's $70, and it's not worth $70.
It's like the big thing that I've been hearing is that Mario Tennis always has good story modes, and like the last one had a good story mode, and the Game Boy one had the best story mode. And I hear that the adventure mode in the new game is a crock of shit, like actually really disappointingly bad.
Well, that's the way it is. Scott, what have you been playing?
Well, I completed Trials Beyond Horizon, so now I'm going back to Dragon's Quest 2 to finish that game up, and I don't know. I'll have to decide something next after that.
I've been playing Eugenics.
I've heard about that game.
The teaser first came out 14 years ago. It had a really strange journey. Edmund McMillan wanted to make it, but the guy who was running Team Meat decided that they wanted to do just Meat Boy games. So Edmund McMillan walked, and then there was an entire legal thing going on, and he couldn't even work on it for a long while. So he finally released it. Now, when the game was first announced, people thought it was going to be sort of like a creature software toy in which you're just breeding cats and whatever. The final product is a roguelike in which you breed cats and then send them out to die. It has the typical Edmund McMillan Newgrounds humor. Cats fart, they fuck, they hump, actually. You can actually turn off humping and make it so that either the kittens magically appear or stuff like that. But otherwise, they just hump. It has a lot of humor. It's really polished. A lot of people say Game of the Year. I don't think so. I think it's just a really well-made indie game.
You have been following this game for years and speaking to it sporadically when there was news to speak to. How happy are you to see it out, Jonah? And like, does it meet the expectations you had for it?
Well, it doesn't meet expectations because it's not quite the game that I thought it was going to be. But I will say this, and you'll appreciate this, TJ. It has the best songs in it. There are so many songs and so many styles. Aside from the theme song of Eugenics, it's just when you're doing the boss battles, all of a sudden a song goes, "Oh, I haven't heard this song yet."
I've heard really good things about this soundtrack in this.
It's one of those games in which in the first hour it seems lightweight, and then it keeps on adding stuff, and then you start figuring out the strategies of it. Like at first, you just have a single room, and you can't control who fucks and who fights and all that stuff. When you donate cats, you start getting new stuff added, and when you have a second room, you can just put 2 cats there and hope that they have sex up there. A lot of it is luck, obviously, but the genetics are weird. You'll come up with really weird cats, and the one thing that people don't find, are upset by is that when you send cats out on a mission, that's it. You can only send them out on one mission. After that, they're retired. You can't use them anymore. You can use them for breeding. And that's the part in which it's a roguelike, because basically the breeding is sort of like a roguelike when you have your character and they get new abilities, right? That's what this is, except the abilities are random sometimes and you can't quite get what you want because it's genetics. But people like that cat that they just... And by the way, these adventures, they can go on for a very long time. It's sort of like they go on and on and on and on and on and on. So you really get attached to these cats.
Nice.
But it's worth the $30. Like I said, it's worth it for the music alone. Actually, it's typical Edmund McMillan. If you've played The Binding of Isaac and other games that he's done, you'll be right at home. And it's one of those games in which it's not like Duke Nukem Forever. It's one of those games that have been polished to a fine sheen. They didn't keep changing the engine. They didn't keep changing what there was. No. It was a game, and Ed McMillan founded the game out of cat breeding. Yeah, it's experience. It's one of those games in which I pop out when I'm bored. Sort of like what's another game that's sort of like that? Like Slay the Spire. By the way, Slay the Spire 2 is coming out soon too, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, Slay the Spire is looking exciting.
Slay the Spire 2.
Right.
I've also been playing Diablo 2. I already owned it, but it came out on Game Pass, and they announced an entire new DLC, $25. New DLC for Diablo 2 in 2026. I haven't purchased it yet because I'm doing a playthrough of Diablo 2. But after I finish Diablo 2, I will pick it up and see what it's people who actually paid for the DLC are really like it a lot.
So, have you? Did you say you haven't had a chance to play the Diablo 2
I haven't had a
DLC?
chance to play the DLC yet. No.
Okay. I saw it the other day in action, and that Warlock looks crazy good.
Yeah,
What a wild thing!
Sorceress.
What a wild thing to see fucking Diablo 2 DLC in 2026.
Well, hey, they had Doom 1994 DLC that was new, so
I
why
know,
not?
But it's like, yeah, I guess you're right. It is. As far as like Night Dive and groups like Night Dive go, they're doing a pretty decent job of bringing old games back to the forefront.
We've been spoiled by mods because we don't get DLC anymore for old games. We get mods for old games. What's the name of that Doom mod that's supposed to be Ultimate Doom or something like that? You know, which adds
there's
glory moves and
Brutal Doom.
Brutal Doom, right? So
yeah.
But when official DLC comes out for 20-plus-year-old games, that's sort of an eye opener. I think they did that for one of the Unreal Tournament games too. So, yeah. But that's what I've been playing. Speaking of old games that I often play again, we're going to go to the gaming flashback. Take it away, TJ.
All right. Okay. Our gaming flashback this week is XCOM 2. XCOM 2 is a 2016 turn-based tactics video game developed by Firaxis Games and published by 2K. It is the sequel to 2012's reboot of the series, XCOM Enemy Unknown. It takes place 20 years after the events of the original Enemy Unknown, and XCOM, a military organization trying to fight off an alien invasion, has lost the war and is now a resistance force against the occupation of Earth. The established totalitarian regime and military dictatorship. Gameplay is split between turn-based combat, in which players command a squad of soldiers to fight enemies, and strategy elements, in which players manage and control the operations of the Avenger, an alien ship that is used as a mobile base for XCOM. Following players' feedback on Enemy Unknown, Firaxis added procedural generation of maps and mod support to the game. The developers set the game after the bad ending of the 2012 reboot because it allowed them to change gameplay and introduce various new features and redesign some enemies. To encourage players to play more offensively, the developers introduced time-based objectives to boost the game's pacing. Compared with its predecessor, XCOM 2 has more emphasis on narrative. The artists drew inspiration from sci-fi movies including Elysium and Oblivion when creating the game's aesthetic. The game is powered by Unreal Engine 3.5. XCOM 2 was released in February 2016 for personal computers, PlayStation 4, and for personal computers. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions were released in September 2016. Upon release, the game received critical acclaim. Critics praised the new concealment system, which they said adds a new layer of depth, and the procedural generation of maps. The game was also praised for its difficulty and the addition of modding tools. Criticism was mainly directed at its poor performance at launch. It was nominated for multiple year-end accolades by several gaming publications. Firaxis supported the game with downloadable content and released XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, the game's expansion, in 2017. It was released for Nintendo Switch and iOS in 2020 and Android in 2021.
Yeah.
Kind of a this game set up for Terror from the Deep, and it's kind of sad that we haven't.
Yeah, that was the ending. At the ending of this game, you had a shot of the ocean deep, and it's like, oh, we're doing Terror of the Deep next, aren't we? And 10 years later, it hasn't come out.
Yeah. It was good though. XCOM 2 was excellent.
I was an expert at XCOM 2. I actually did a speed run and just wiped them out shortly. And then it's so replayable because it's even though the story is always the same, it's your squad is so personalized that Although I will say this, there's a lot of actors from Star Trek: The Next Generation. You had Marina Sirtis, you had Michael Dorn, and you had John Delancey, all doing voices for each of the things. And Michael Dorn was there too.
Yeah.
If you wanted, it's sort of like these people really love Star Trek: The Next Generation, don't they?
Yeah, and like it was it was pretty dang cool too how they upgraded the enemies and made and augmented them on this idea that they have Earth technology to use now, and they apply it to what they have as well.
And those
Um,
champions were just a pain in the ass.
yeah,
But here's the thing, you know what the sweetest feeling is
what's that?
when you have a sniper, they have repeater, and they one shot a champion.
Yeah, yeah. When you got your squad going good and they're at the best. I always liked the shotgunners, especially when you get them up to the ability where they can move and then shoot. And
Yeah,
then shoot
what happens is I forgot the name of the ability, but what happens is if you kill an enemy, you get your movements restored, and you can keep just killing.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you have killing, and if you added that with lightning reflexes, if they got near you, you automatically turned around and took the sword and said, "Hey, get away."
Yeah, crazy good. I love that they. I love it, like what they did with the end game skill trees of all the characters, because you could really make. Ah man, I made some really great squaddies in that game, and I would love to go back. Like I almost want to go back and see them again because like
You know what stopped me from going back to XCOM 2?
what's that?
Marvel's Midnight Nights.
Midnight Suns. That's a
It's a different method than XCOM because it uses cards, but I don't know what it is. I think it may be the story that just keeps me coming back to that game, to Midnight Suns.
It's a really good story. Like
especially the secret, the ending. Okay, I'm gonna spoil this because it's a couple of years old. And once you find out that Lilith was actually on the side of good, and she was using you to try and kill Cathan. The one thing she didn't realize is that when she broke your collar, Cathan was able to, take control of you.
mm-hmm.
But she was really actually using the death of millions to just kill Cathan and free everybody from him. When you play that game, it's sort of like she seems like a smug bitch, but in reality, she's telling the truth. She's actually telling the truth the entire time.
Yeah, and I always just love the fact that you have. I love that for that entire game you have Iron Man and Doctor Strange kind of like across from each other, but like magic and the best of magic and the best of science, just butting heads the entire game.
But here's the fun part: when you get Bruce back, they what's it called? They say, "Oh, you know what this means? Yep, it's an all-night science thing."
Yeah.
So apparently the other thing is getting back to XCOM 2 is that in the expansion, you had Julian, who's an AI, who really wants to take control of the Spark. So one thing I always do is that I give the Spark the Julian voice. I'm giving him what he wanted. He just is under control. And he's always funny, but he's always sarcastic when he's helping you out. It's hilarious. But yeah, I'm still waiting for XCOM 3, Terror from the Deep, just like you. But it's 10 years from now. I have no idea what they're doing.
It's crazy. I really do hope they eventually do it because they clearly set up for it. But it's also like Jake Solomon isn't there anymore, and I don't know. I don't know who directs that team now that he's not around.
Interesting thing though, XCOM 2 was free on Steam for a while last week. There's a new promotion, so it makes me wonder: are they getting set to get people interested in XCOM? Because that's what they did with Assassin's Creed. They released Assassin's Creed 1 for free before announcing Assassin's Creed 2. But you never know. I mean, here's the thing: they had a good reason why XCOM 3 didn't come out in the past few years. Its name was Midnight Suns, so maybe their attentions are back to XCOM. We'll have to wait 10 years for Midnight Suns too, because that ended on a kind of cliffhanger.
Yeah, and like I said, I imagine they need to get. I would like to know who's directing these games after Jake Solomon's gone. Like, I want to know who that is, because Jake Solomon had a very strong vision for.
I'll have to ask him.
What's up?
I'll have to ask him.
Yeah,
Literally.
I hope so though, because like Terror from the Deep is such a weird chapter of XCOM, but it's also awesome, and I really want to.
Well,
see
here's the
that
thing: the way XCOM 2 frames it is different than the way the original frames it, because XCOM 2 frames it as that's an alien species that I forgot their name, the leaders of the XCOM group that you're fighting are afraid of. They're not on the same team.
Yeah, they're actually the reason why they were trying to conquer Earth was to contain this even more terrifying thing, and I love that twist.
Before. We had that with Half-Life. Remember, Nioh warns you, if you're killing me, you're going to let them come in, and we find out who them is. It's the Combine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a similar thing. Anyways, but XCOM 2 still out there, still good, still, you can find deals for this thing with all the DLC for, I think they had a deal the other day for XCOM 2, every DLC, everything for $5.
Yeah, and that's a lot of good game for just $5.
Like I said, it took Midnight Suns to pull me away from XCOM 2. I might get back into XCOM 2 again, but right now, the old game that I'm getting back into is State of Decay 2, because I want to get my Sheriff in Lethal. I've already got the other 3 in Lethal. Now I want to finish the Sheriff in Lethal. Anyways, we're going to move on to quick news. We already discussed that there was a huge patch that on Nioh 3 that was affecting progress-halting bugs. Because you said you didn't encounter any of those.
Not much, no. Probably the occasional, but like not so much that I actually really noticed that badly.
Anyways, we're going to get into news, and PlayStation had their State of Play. Some of them we already saw from the XCOM one, like Beast of Reincarnation, which gave a release date now, August 4th. I don't know if we talked much about Beast of Reincarnation. All I could talk about was that it was being made by Game Freak, and it's their own version of a Souls-like.
Yeah,
it's very pretty.
And it does look cool. It looks very different from everything else they've done, but still has those Pokemon elements, and specifically, it seems to have elements
dog.
of the. What's up?
The dog.
Well, yeah, and it also seems to have elements of the gameplay from Pokemon Legends, which is interesting and cool. I like the way that they're going with it, where you can do your combat, but you also have the option to cast like commands from your dog.
Giant white wolf with flowers for a tail. 2 new God of War projects are announced. First, they're remaking the first 3 games, and then, and people are more interested in this, they're releasing Sons of Sparta, which is going to be a 2D 2D action game, which was actually released already. Have you played Sons of Sparta?
I haven't. I'm hearing mixed things. I'm hearing mixed vibes on, like, some people think it's neat, others aren't quite on board, from what I understand.
I'm interested. I like the idea of a 2D side-scrolling pixel game.
It's out now, Scott. You can play it now if you have a PlayStation.
It's a strange thing to see for God of War, though. Like, that's a Metroidvania is not what I expect out of God of War, and I'm not trying to be like holier than. I'm not going to look down my nose and say that doesn't fit me. But I don't know, like God of War as a side-scrolling Metroidvania sounds strange.
So did Alex as a VR game, but there you have it.
That is true.
Let's talk about Townfall, Silent Hill Townfall.
They're going to another not Silent Hill.
Yeah, this was Annapurna And we all know what Annapurna likes. Annapurna likes Hollywood actors, and they like cinematic games.
They
And
keep,
certainly Silent Hill Townfall looks very cinematic.
yeah. It looks good too. Like I mean, like for what we've seen, it looks like it's going to be interesting. But I'm curious of like Silent Hill F established this idea. Like this was really the first time they really put this out there. That Silent Hill isn't actually a town; it's an idea, and it can be anywhere. But I don't know. I like Silent Hill being Silent Hill. I like a monster town that is just built to destroy everybody that goes into it.
Have you seen the TV show called From?
From
Yeah,
I have not.
that is reminding me of this now. Silent Hill being this town that you get trapped in, and there's these monsters. And well, the show has Harold Pinot from Lost in it, playing a sheriff character, and people get they're on the road, and suddenly they see this tree crash on the road, and they stop and they move the tree, and they drive in, and then they find this town, and now they're trapped in it, and there's all these people that have just found themselves stranded in this town, and it's like I said, it's just full of these weird, strange creatures that come out only at night, and it's a horror setting, and it's kind of reminded me of that now, where it's just this concept of a place that, yeah, you could be driving anywhere, like they're from all over the country, and they just somehow arrive in this town no matter what they do. So it's reminded me of that Silent Hill.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because like once again we're going to a new place, but like and we've got new characters and this new guy he's like I guess he wakes up in a hospital and he's still like plucked full of IVs, and I guess he needs that stuff because he carries an IV bag with him with a like one of them is connected into his arm, and I imagine the way that Silent Hill is, that's probably going to be a gameplay element of some kind, which I'm not crazy about needles, so I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, Death Stranding 2 is coming to PC. It'll be on Xbox in November without being announced, because that's how long it takes. It's going to be a year. And I know that you're a huge fan of Death Stranding 2, TJ.
Yes, I am a huge fan of Death Stranding 2. I think it was the best game of last year, and I hope that more people enjoy it because I certainly did. I think it actually flew. I don't think it. Okay, flying under the radar is not the right word, but I do think that a lot of people wrote it off because they just thought it was going to be more Kojima bullshit. But I think it's probably the best thing he's done because it kind of cuts out a lot of Kojima's bullshit and focuses on like being a good game and telling a good story, with the exception of like a couple moments that I would say is absolutely Kojima bullshit.
Okay. The game that impressed people, the new game, was Pragmata. There's actually a demo for it now.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of Pragmata in a demo that I got to play at a Tokyo Game Show in 2025. That game is weird and interesting because you literally have to hack robots in real time while you're fighting them and like shooting at them. And
that is kind of an odd thing to have a little puzzle while you're shooting. So you're like, is it like hard to focus on both things?
It was surprisingly intuitive. Like it's a thing where you can still move around with the left stick while you're solving the puzzle, and I thought that it was very surprisingly streamlined the way that you could do the hacking mini game and then also focus on evasion and fighting back. And the big part of it is that this is on them. Like they'll have like exhaust ports open up that you can then fire into, and destroy them much faster than if you were just to fight them regularly one-on-one. And so it's a very unique setup, and I really hope that it catches on because new IPs are fun, and I hope and this one seems like it's going to be a blast.
We also have Castlevania Belmont's Curse.
That looks really cool.
That was my
by the guys
favorite
who
thing.
By the guy who did the Rogue Prince of Persia.
That was my favorite thing of the show by far. Like, I couldn't believe it. We are finally getting another 2.5D Castlevania from Motion Twin and Evil Empire.
Yes, like I said, the Rogue Prince of Persia.
Woo! They know what they're doing, and they're very good at it. And I'm so excited to see them do that. Like, God bless Konami for finally remembering in 2026 and 2025 that it has video games that people care about. And that it should allow other developers to work on.
They're doing like 3 games, or they showed 3 games at the State played in, wasn't it?
They had the Metal Gear Solid collection for that had MGS4 and Ghost Babel,
which is going to be the first time that MGS4 is going to be on PC.
Yeah, and it's going to be funny because like they have lines in there that are very specific for the PS3. Like Otacon, like the game loads by Snake smoking a cigarette from front to back, and man, he's gonna chief that thing quick on new systems.
You also had more gameplay for 007 First Light.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming on May, and it's IO Interactive. They know what they're doing.
Yep. I'm always concerned about like how much action it's going to be and how much set pieces it's going to be versus a sandbox, but I trust IO. I have no reason not to at this point, so we'll see what happens.
The other thing that came out that people were talking about, of course, was the John Wick game.
I'm just surprised they haven't done this sooner, honestly. But that looks like a lot of fun for those that like this kind of game. You're just John Wick going crazy on people.
I didn't see who was developing it. Do we know?
I don't remember. They also have the new sequel to Control Resident, which is being made by Remedy, and all we know is there's a teaser and who's in it. That's it.
I can see it's Saber and Lionsgate.
Saber Interactive.
And Lionsgate.
Saber Interactive is an old developer.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. I just had a complete brain fart. Did I who is working on the John Wick game?
Saber and Lionsgate.
Saber and Lionsgate. I'm sorry.
Lionsgate is a publisher. It's not a developer.
Well, they're
Saber
both
Interactive is a developer.
Saber Interactive is interesting. They do a lot of different and weird stuff, and none of it is like. I don't want to be mean, but none of it is like exemplary. It's mostly decent to pretty good. Like they did World War Z, and they did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, and they did no, they didn't do that one. They did the Evil Dead game. And they've done those driving like industrial drive outdoors driving games, and it's like
the yeah, they're always on Game Pass, the ones.
Saber is super awesome at making games that are pretty good.
The thing is that they're not one studio. They have like 24 studios, each in a different country.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense as to why they make such an eclectic.
They had the balls to do a remake of Shaq Fu.
Yeah. They are definitely eclectic, to say the least. Like they have so much different stuff.
You know what else
they
do, right? That's gotten people a little bit interested in them. You know what they also do? They also do the Halo remasters. They've done all these Halo remasters. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo 3, ODST, etc., etc.
Are they on the one that's coming to PS5?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Huh.
But yeah, they do stuff like Mud Runner, Yeah, Roadcraft.
They're all over the place.
I mean, if you have a weird thing, they also did they also did John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, which is coming out in a month.
Yeah.
They're also doing an Avatar Last Airbender game. Oh, yeah, they're also the ones responsible for the KOTOR remake.
Oh yeah.
Like
But
you
that
said,
was kind of
like I
that
said,
was
they
kind
have dozens of developers all over the world. So
yeah. But like I said, it's interesting because like I never expect amazing out of a Saber game. I expect decent to pretty good. Like
you want a remake of Quake
a solid
Champions?
7 to 8.
You want a remake of Quake Champions, or if you want to put Kingdom Come Deliverance on the Switch, you go to Saber. It's when they have to make original games that they run into problems. Like they did all the Crysis remasters. Yeah, getting back to our pals at the thing. One of the interesting things is they have the Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition, which is not a remaster. It's just Rayman, the very first Rayman.
Rayman needs some love. That's what I'm
And
glad
but
to
the
see.
thing is, it's an interesting reason for them to come out with Rayman, and I'm wondering, are they gonna have new Rayman content?
That would be great.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to see that Rayman gets some love. It's been a
Yeah, but the
while.
first Rayman game is not like Rayman Legends and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah, I know.
it's not the same kind of platformer. What the original Rayman wasn't a competitor with Mario. It would be the later games that did that.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm still happy to see that Rayman gets some love because it's been a very. It feels like it's been a pretty dang long time since we heard from our old boy. He he's been relegated to like side stories in other people's games. He was a DLC character in Mario and versus Mario and Rabbids.
Finally, they have a sequel to Kena Scars of Cosmora.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I need to know. What do you think of a friggin' multiplayer Ghost of Yotei game?
They did that with the first game. It's not bad. It's nothing that's going to be like the star attraction of the Ghost games, but like it's a thing that they set up in the first game. This late by the time that it had come out, where like you team up with buddies and you get to pick classes and go on missions in that world. So it's just more Ghost to play, which I can appreciate, and being able to play it with others is kind of cool too.
Finally, they're remaking Legacy of Kain Defiance, and coming out with a new 2D action game.
That's a good one to remake. I think it's been a long time, and the old originals were a little, I guess, long in the tooth, and maybe a remake will help bring in people that like this story and get more Legacy of Kain.
Project Windless, nothing except an announcement. It's going to be set in a fantasy series. Bird that drinks tears. I don't know. All I see are bird people running around.
Project Winless.
Oh
This game
yeah,
looked funny.
The rooster or whatever. I can't take it serious seeing that. It just looks so silly.
I saw someone call it Black Myth Wukong, and I can't stop thinking about that.
That's probably what it is.
Yep.
Like it looks ridiculous, but
Yeah.
in a good way. Like in a
but here's the thing: there's no Journey to the West involving a rooster.
Yeah, but we're about to play one anyways.
Okay, so that's it for PlayStation's February State of Play. Now I'm going to depress everybody. Bloomberg claims rampant AI demand for memory is forcing Sony to consider pushing back the launch of the next PlayStation 6 as far back as 2029. This comes from PC Gamer. The fact that the AI boom is threatening to crater the entire consumer computer market isn't news, but specifics can be, in this case, a bit of a bombshell. According to Bloomberg, Sony is considering whether to push back its PS6 as far back as 2029. It goes on more to say goes on to say to move to delay the console would be a major upset to a carefully orchestrated strategy to maintain user engagement between hardware generations. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. If people are going to be hanging on to their PlayStation 5s and their Xbox Series X's, is that such a bad thing?
I think console cycles should last longer. I don't see why there's such a rush to try to top.
Oh no, we're gonna have to play GTA 6 in 30 frames per second. Boo-hoo.
I mean, yeah, it's like I'm just playing on my PC and enjoying that for myself.
Here's the nastier stuff. Bloomberg further claims that a close Nintendo is gonna has a lot of unsold consoles, and they're gonna raise the price. 2026. Of course, the fundamental reason for this is that these AI data centers are buying up all these chips to run their chat bots.
Yeah.
And now consumer electronics are fighting over a dwindling supply of chips. But here's the thing. There's been signs that this AI thing is going to blow up. But the problem is, we saw what happened with the housing market bubble popping, right? This could be worse.
The only hope and silver lining I have on this situation is that pop happens and it results in a whole bunch of
DJ roboted out again.
I'm hoping
again,
that
TJ. We
indies will be able to get into the space more now. Hopefully, AAA will get weaker and be able to, shine light on more smaller independent studios.
You know how we can tell that the AI bubble is about to burst?
How's that?
Google sent out corporate bonds, right?
Yes.
And usually a company does that when they're desperate.
Yes.
But 100-year bond?
100-year
What does that even mean?
Scott said, well, you mean Google's going to be around after 100 years? Fuck that. I'm not going to be around when the bond matures. Do they expect me to live to 150?
Yeah. It's the goofiest fucking shit
I
I've
don't
seen.
think they're going to last another 10, let alone 100 years.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They also have these lawsuits going on. Not lawsuits, but these court cases in Europe.
To anti-monopoly them.
Yeah.
And Facebook is getting hell as well. So.
Well, yeah, because Meta is stuffing AI into everything, and there's
it's not only that, but they also
concern
have.
That
there's some countries that banned social media for kids under 16.
There's growing concern that that those AI glasses are scanning without permission, and that's just creepy.
Nothing. That's nothing. When you ban kids 16 and under from using social media, that is powerful.
I hope this bubble bursts. I do.
Well, I hope this bubble bursts too, but I hope it doesn't burst all over us.
It's such a drag on everything.
There's $100 billion that are unaccounted for.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about those data centers. Local power companies are starting to say, no, you're not getting power from us.
That's the thing. Is that that's the reason. That's kind of the reason I wanted to burst at this point. Is that it's not just a matter of increasing prices; it's hurting everything. It's making
everything is hurting. People are being stolen from. People's images are being used without permission. Dead people are being used in these images, and it's ridiculess.
And then the places where these data centers are, and then the places
I don't care about licensing things. I'm caring about power because I don't want brownouts because of your chatbots.
And they're fucking ruining the environments of the places where these data centers are for the fact that they need that much power and they have that much output.
And what for? Here's the thing. A lot of companies are reversing decisions on having AI because now they have people having to make sure. Here's the thing. People say, well, AI is going to replace programming. Really? Do you know anything about programming? I'd like to see you work out the bugs when you don't know how the program is built.
AI is the most jingle keys in front of a child technology ever
Yeah.
created from a creative standpoint. It is so fucking just throw glitter in your face and hope you clap. And it's gross that anyone would think that that's a future anyone wants to embrace.
Anybody who watched the 5th season of Stranger Things can spot immediately all the AI dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, every time those characters talk about this is this and this is this and this, those that's AI written right there. That is not a human who wrote that. That was not a human. All those things in which they, we're going to do this. And the coming out speech was so AI. You know how I can tell? I know the AI code words. They're so obvious. And the AI loves to do because of this, then this.
Mm-hmm.
I can just do a chat GPT right now. Chat GPT loves to say agency. That's one of its favorite words. It likes to say things like, and because of that, you are empowered.
Yeah. But really, it's just the whole thing is a con. The whole thing is a bad con, and it's hurting everything. I hate it, and I wish it would go away, and I wish it would go away fast. But I also hope it doesn't keep destroying us as it goes away.
So here's the thing: the pattern of the AI bubble, when you look at it on a stock thing, it's almost exactly word for word .com bubble. Now we have websites, obviously .coms. That's this, but here's the thing: you have to understand, AI is not a worker; it is a tool. That's like asking your hammer to hammer things by itself.
Yeah.
You know? It's not going to do your work for you because you're going to end up doing more work.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's a large language model. It's not even artificial intelligence. It can't think. It can't figure out problems.
I saw a video about this guy who was working with actual AI, and he was comparing the way you have AI, actual AI, to generative AI. Because what happens is generative AI just grabs from sources, and it does it at random. It's not something you'd want when you're doing software programming, right? Real AI learns why things happen, right? And that's why it takes so long to make, because it is a long time to do it. So, anyways, it's not a matter of when. I mean, it's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when. Moving on to the next item. I just lost myself. Oh yeah, go ahead, TJ.
More evidence of that Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake surfaces from Eurogamer. Yet more evidence pointing to the existence of Ubisoft's much rumored but still doggedly unannounced Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake has surfaced, this time in the form of an official art book set to release this March. Reports of a Black Flag remake first surfaced in 2023, when it was claimed that the celebrated 2013 open world pirate game was getting the do-over treatment from Skull and Bones developer Ubisoft Singapore.
Now that's irony right there.
Yeah. At the time, the project
sense of humor.
At the time, the project was said to be still a few years away from release. Since then, evidence of the remake's existence has continued to mount despite Ubisoft's persistent silence. Last year, for instance, actor Matt Ryan, who played Black Flag protagonist Edward Kenway, hinted the remake was close to release, only for Ubisoft to threaten him with illegal action. That sucks. What? Jesus.
Yeah, that's overdoing it.
Oh boy. Anyways, then in December, something called Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced briefly appeared on the PEGI website. Rated 18 for violence, bad language, and in-game purchases. That's okay. Anyways, and now a Black Flag art book can be tossed on the growing evidence pile. As spotted by IGN, the tome listed under the name Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remaster art book was recently added to Amazon UK with a recommended retail price of £39.99, currently $29.95, and a release date of 24th of March 2026. Titan, a company that's released numerous officially licensed Assassin's Creed art books over the years, is listed as the publisher.
You know, if you're
Ubisoft-
going to make a remaster of Assassin's Creed 3, you're going to make an Assassin's Creed 4. Assassin's Creed 3 is the redheaded stepchild of the series.
I don't know why anyone expects anything out of Ubisoft anymore. Like that seems like a losing battle every time.
Yeah, but this is obvious. I mean, come on.
I know, but why would you put any faith in Ubisoft after everything they've done up to this point? Like, how can you look at what they're doing at all and just be like, yeah, okay, I can trust this?
Wait,
and not the existence of the thing. I'm saying that even if it does come out, is it going to be any good? That's my question.
Well, I really loved Watchdog Legion.
How'd you feel about Skull and Bones?
I didn't play Skull and Bones, although I have it. I haven't played it.
That's the thing, Jonah. Nobody played Skull and Bones.
That's not true. I am looking forward. Hey, look, they are coming out with a new Heroes of Might and Magic game. That I'm looking forward to. And they're making the Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era like a really upscaled Heroes of Might and Magic 3 game.
My bad. 2,600 people have played Skull and Bones, according to SteamDB.
Well, my version isn't on Steam, so.
And, like, I don't know. That in of itself makes me raise my brow. The way the thing that they did to Matt Ryan.
Well, here's the thing. You know what game that came out which people really, really liked from Ubisoft?
What's that?
Anno 111. Anno, the new Anno game, Pax Romana.
Yeah, but like those games might never happen again because Ubisoft straight up said it was cutting back to mostly just Assassin's Creed, Tom Clancy, and one other thing. What was it?
And remember what happened to the Rogue Prince of Persia?
Yeah, well, that game was good. Like even if you want to say that it didn't sell well, that game was pretty dang good. It's just that like I don't know, man. Ubisoft doesn't have the sauce anymore.
The Avatar open world game, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, also got a lot of positive reviews.
I've heard nothing about that game from anyone, like good or bad. I've never
heard a lot of
heard
good
anyone
things from people who've actually played it. It's, I mean, Ubisoft is basically the open world, developer, but Avatar had a lot of money put behind it, so at least it looks really good. It plays well enough. Like I said, I'm more interested in Heroes of Might and Magic Golden Era because I played those Heroes of Might and Magic games back in the day.
Like, it's probably fair to be excited about Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake happening. It probably will, but, like, I don't know. I have very little faith in Ubisoft getting anything right these days.
Well, I'm looking forward to Beyond Good and Evil 2. I mean, whatever that's.
I wholeheartedly believe that we're still waiting on the cancellation of that, too, because when was the last time we heard anything good about it?
Well, here's the thing. Emile Morel passed away.
I know, and that's a huge setback to it.
And what the fuck is Michael Ansel doing?
I don't know.
He's too busy. He's too busy. If I remember correctly, being a 9/11 truther.
Really?
I don't know. I know one of them was a 9/11 truther.
I mean, given Ubisoft's previous history of staff and leadership, I wouldn't be surprised.
But you know what? It broke a record.
What's that?
A record.
Oh yeah.
Forever for being the longest development game. Now more than 15 years.
That is so ridiculous. Like, I would love for Beyond Good and Evil 2 to come out and be good. I would love for that to happen. I just don't trust these guys anymore. I don't trust Yves Guillemot. He's a crook. He's a fraud. He's a bad CEO. He's a shitty person. And he is taking a mountain of treasure and just covering it in garbage every day that he continues to lead that company.
I don't think he was a truther. I know there was a truther associated with it. I just don't know. But there was also rumors 5 years ago that he retired from developing.
Huh.
I think that's why I have little faith in Michael Ansel doing anything.
It would be cool. It would be cool if Beyond Good and Evil 2 was good.
But here's the problem. When we saw the last trailer, it seemed like one of your generic open world games. It's like, oh, really?
I mean, I've said already. I have no faith in. I have no faith in Ubisoft to do anything correctly.
At least they did Anno correctly. They look like they're doing Heroes of Might and Magic correctly. I mean, when they come out with a good game, it's a surprise, but it's still good. You know?
The guy who's working on as the creative director who replaced Emile Morel is called Fozzie Mesmar.
Yeah.
And I don't know him very well. I have never seen anything else that he's been on. I kind of want to look him up on.
I know he worked on. He was the head of DICE.
Oh, he was also a lead on Star Wars Outlaws.
He was also the lead on the team behind Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
And he did, and he was a lead on Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition, which is probably why he's in the second game's role. So, there you go. He doesn't seem that bad. I just also think that he has a lot on his plate as far as trying to make this work under Ubisoft.
The amount of hype that Beyond Good and Evil 2, it's never going to be able to match it.
Of course it won't.
No way it's gonna ever match the expectations.
All I want is a good game with a good story in that universe that's fun to play. I need it to be at least that. It would be nice if it was better than that, but I don't expect anything.
Oh, did you see where the guy who did so many mods for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines showed off tons and tons of content from the original Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 that was being done by Hardlight?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, look it up. What's it called? There's a lot of interesting screenshots. It doesn't mean that it was going to be a good game. It just means there was a lot of content there. And for whatever reason, Hardlight just screwed up. Anyways, look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net along with industry news and our gaming history articles. If you enjoy feedback, send us comments on our blog at gamingpodcast.net. Also, hit us up at facebook.com/gamingpodcast. Subscribe to iTunes, leave iTunes comments. You can find me on Blue Sky at Jonah Falcon.
You can find me at Johnny Chugs.
You can find me at Shard the Sage.
And we will be here next week, and hopefully the bubble will have popped by then.
Yeah, I hope so. Happy gaming, everyone.
Have fun. Be cool. Play games, y'all.